formed at near sea level, but it's since been raised by nearly 2 kilometers above sea level. The whole region has been updomed, mostly around here. And one possibility to explain the initial formation of the Red Sea is that this bulging of the crust caused stretching across the line of the Red Sea and the development of a trough or graben. Or perhaps the two plates moved apart before the uplift happened, or perhaps there are elements of both processes. But one way of tackling this problem is to look at the sediments. For the history of any stretch of water, the Red Sea included, is recorded in the sediments that are deposited there.
During the last 20 million years, this area has certainly been one of considerable instability. But prior to that, for 500 million years, this was a very stable area. During that period of stability, terrestrial sediments were deposited over the whole of the area. These terrestrial sediments were interbedded with marine and intertidal sediments, which were the result of transgressions coming up from the north in this direction here. Terrestrial sediments are very similar to the millstone grit in Britain. Unlike the millstone grit, they are a facies deposit. That is, they vary in age from place to place. These deposits are called the Nubian and were laid down in large, flat, depositional sheets, sure that rivers must have been draining this area here for hundreds of millions of years. These braided rivers flowed from an upland region in the south here, northward into an ocean up here. During the lower Cretaceous, a marine transgression covered the whole of this area here, depositing over Sinai limestones. Further south, towards the coastline, we find shale deposits. The best exposed outcrop is found at Quasir, and these shales, with plant remains, are interbedded with shallow water limestones rich in oysters and with phosphates. This is a clear indication that the coastline must have been fluctuating in this area here. Limestones continued to be deposited during the lower and middle Eocene, and these sediments stretched from the Tigris-Euphrates Valley in the east right the way across this properly. We need to look in detail at a cross-section along here.